NLE Choppa is in a very concerning position as of late due to him being arrested just around a week ago. NLE Choppa's music career could practically be over due to him facing some possible prison time due to this new court case, as the new evidence that has been found on him is pretty worrying. If NLE Choppa does end up facing prison time for this, something likely will very bad happen. In this video, I'll be sharing everything you need to know, so make sure you watch until the end. Now, NLE Choppa was arrested just a few days ago in a very super serious court case, and due to his prior arrests, NLE Choppa could practically be facing some prison time for this. Now, in case you actually have no idea why NLE Choppa was arrested in the first place, here is the exclusive report on it. Now, NLE Choppa was arrested and taken into lockup in Broward County for the charges of burglary, firearms, and possession of some substances. And the funny part is, he's actually near YNW Melly. But you're probably wondering, how did this all even go down? And well, NLE Choppa was allegedly trying to break into his own or a friend's vehicle. This was taken into a tow yard after, I guess, maybe it was illegally parked or something, and NLE Choppa ended up trying to get into said car. Now, inside of this car, allegedly NLE Choppa had his watch inside of the glove box. Knowing NLE Choppa and watching any sort of music video of his, it was probably some sort of a bust down Rolex or AP. It was probably around $50,000 to $100,000. So I mean, I can assume and understand why he would want that watch back. Now, while trying to break into this car, I am assuming he was spotted hopping the fence with his two other friends, and the people who work at the tow yard must have actually caught them and then called law enforcement for backup, as somebody was breaking into their tow yard late at night. And you're probably wondering, why was NLE Choppa arrested for burglary onto his own vehicle? Well, it wasn't until later that it was reported NLE Choppa was literally breaking into the wrong car during this incident. It turns out the car that he was actually looking for was in a whole different other tow yard down the street, which means that NLE Choppa was caught breaking into some unknown vehicle that was not his. And that is why these charges are so serious. Obviously, if it was actually his own vehicle with his name, on the insurance and everything, I think the judge would understand, but would take it a little bit easier. The fact that he's trying to say that he was trying to break into his own car, but then ended up doing somebody else's car that he doesn't even know, well, that's when it starts to get a little bit more serious. And while the law enforcement arrived and found NLE Choppa and his two friends during this incident, they ended up finding multiple things on NLE Choppa, which I'm very surprised about, as if he was with other people, I'm very surprised they didn't actually take the fall for him, as usually that happens with rappers. But NLE Choppa ended up getting taken into lockup. This was on 4 charges of a concealed firearm, possession, and burglary. NLE Choppa was with his 2 friends at this incident. All 3 of them were wearing ski masks, hopping the fence, trying to retrieve the items that was in the vehicle that got towed. And I don't understand why a rapper of his size would even be doing this, and it's very concerning for NLE Choppa, as due to some of his previous court cases, he will actually now be doing quite some time in lockup for this, whether it is prison or just house arrest. But if you do want to know the answer of that, make sure you continue watching, as I'm now about to share the exclusive information about his prison sentence. All of his fans are definitely going to want to hear this. Now, due to NLE Choppa's priors record, it has been said now on social media that allegedly NLE Choppa could be looking at a 1 to 3 year prison sentence for this incident, which is very concerning, especially NLE Choppa being quite young in his music career. Now, hopefully NLE Choppa's boys that were with him during this incident actually hopefully might take a small bit of extra charges. That way NLE Choppa can be released early for a small price, as surprisingly things like that actually happen quite often with rappers, when a rapper will offer, whoever they were with during the incident, to put money on their books and make sure that they're paid when they get out and things like that. It actually happens quite often. But NLE Choppa will have a hard time while in prison. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a huge NLE Choppa fan. I do wish the absolute best for him, and I'm very proud of all of the changes that he has made in his life as of recent. But currently, the number one thing being asked and talked about on social media with him is that he is going to have quite a hard time in prison. This is due to his age and his net worth, and let me just explain. Now, a lot of these prisoners that he will be with on the inside are going to see this young guy come in. He has permanent diamond teeth in, it's not a grill, and he is worth millions upon millions of dollars sitting in the bank. Now sure, NLE Choppa is a pretty built guy, but these guys in lockup have literally nothing to lose, and they probably, will come at you in groups. So defending yourself one-on-one is doable, but, a 3v1 situation, who knows what can happen. Inside of lockup, things happen quite often when somebody wealthy comes in. Prisoners will most likely try to do things to NLE Choppa to put money on their books, commissary goods, make sure that they get better clothing, and all kinds of things like that. I'm pretty sure you have heard tons of stories of what really happens inside of lockups. It's honestly not the best place to be in life. You would actually be quite surprised to know what people do inside of lockup just for a simple honey bun. It's actually some pretty insane stuff to do some research on. Not to mention, while on the inside, NLE Choppa is going to have to look at getting some sort of security type thing, where basically you pay for some people's books and get them some commissary goods, and in return they will basically protect you while you're on the inside. Most of the time this does end up working until they do play a trick on you. It has happened before where a rapper has actually paid for security on the inside of lockup, but these guys that were already in lockup created some sort of plan that they were pretending that they were against each other. A rapper then came in, paid for security on one side, and then they all split the money between both sides and still ended up messing with the rapper anyway, to the point where the rapper then paid both sides for security and safety. It's actually some pretty interesting things that go on. Now, if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like on it and subscribe. Do you guys believe that NLE Choppa will have a hard time while in lockup, or do you think that he'll be just fine? If he does end up getting locked up in the first place, that is. But anyways guys, this has been District Trending, and I'm ending the video here. I'm out, peace.